good morning, and happy Sunday to you. Welcome to Transforming Earth Together. I am Dr. Karina Felix. I have a degree in Metaphysical Science. I have been on this spiritual journey practically my whole life, and it's coming to this culmination when it's time to share our experiences, what I've learned over this timeline is that we are here to experience this life. As you may know, we are souls having a human experience, which pretty much means that the soul comes here to learn and to expand and to become more. And it uses us as its avatars. And at one point, once we have gained all of this information, this knowledge, these experiences, our next duty is to pass it on. And this is how we keep the stories alive. This is how we evolve. This is how we learn and build on the next. Nothing in this world is new. Nothing actually showed out of nothing. Everything is connected, everything is one, and we are just building on those that came before us. In a conversation I had with my girlfriend not too long ago, we were talking about how we come back and we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us. But we've also been here before. Therefore, we get to stand on our own shoulders. And the reason we were having this conversation is because we get caught up with time. We get a little bit scared. We start thinking, well, I have these great ideas, great projects, all of this stuff I want to do. And what if I don't have the time to finish it off? And of course, we're thinking death. What if I die and now all of my dreams and projects or desires? And that's one way of looking at it. And that's very limiting. But we're here to evolve. And each one of us brings something into this earth. And each time, each one of us brings something, there's someone else following behind us. So we're picking up from those that came before us, and we are innovating and inventing, although nothing is brand new, but we are coming up with ideas or making things better. Um, but at the same time, we are opening up new doors, new avenues, new opportunities for those coming after us. And even though we talk about them as being the next generation, they were once past generation, just like we are now the present generation, but we were here before and we will be back again. So I don't know if this can give you some comfort, if you can go into this space with me and realize we are here as souls, and souls has no ending, and the story goes on. Whatever you start now is not just for you, it's for the evolvement of the consciousness of earth, of humanity, and it continues. Someone else will continue carrying that torch. And isn't it fun to think that maybe in a next life you could come back and all of a sudden you'll be working in something that you probably already started in this lifetime? That gives me comfort. It, and not only comfort, it takes away that dread of, I want to finish all these projects and I want to do all this stuff. And, this life is not long enough for me to do all of this stuff. And that is why they always say, pick the one thing that you're passionate about, the one thing that actually gives you a reason to wake up every morning. And it's so part of you. I always say, what's the one thing you can talk about without having to look it up, research, Google? No, it just comes. because you're so passionate about it. That passion, that that is what you're here to do, right? That's where you connect with your soul's journey. And I want to share the segue into the topic I chose for today. And the reason I chose this topic is I always have one thing I want to do, but Source has something else in mind. And we have to become obedient students and we need to listen. And throughout the week, I usually wake up in the morning and I will turn to Alexa and say, Alexa, play me spa music or play me Zen music. And it always goes into this nice, soft music, you know. And for some reason, I think it was Wednesday, I just said, Alexa, play me soft ambient music. And it started playing the songs from Anya, you know. I'm not gonna do it now. But anyway, and it's this whole kind of a chanting song. And at first I thought, this is ambient music. I was expecting something a little bit more like, Buddha bar kind of a. But then I got into it because it's a song I haven't heard in a long time. And then I thought, are they saying any words in here? Are they really words, or are you just going, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I decided to listen to the song. And the one sentence that popped out was, when you return to yourself, you return to innocence. And I sat there. When you return to yourself, you return to innocence. And I repeated, I got up, I got my journal, and I started writing. And I think I wrote 3 pages long because it kind of made sense at that moment. And so before I go into it, because it's such an interesting process. But before we go into it, I love for us to sync up. I kind of got a little excited this morning. I want us to sync up and get into our energy space. Let's reconnect. Let's take this moment just for us. I'm going to put on our morning prayer so we can get started before we can dive deeply into this topic. So hold on tight, and I'll be right back. This one universal God mind has ultimate control over the outcome of all things in my life and experience. The thoughts I think radiate out an energy field into the psychic atmosphere, attracting to me conditions that give me control over my success and happiness. My finances are controlled and expanded by the power and wisdom of my universal God mind. Dear divine presence of universal God mind, I turn inward to your presence at the center of my core. My mind, body, soul, and spirit are open to your control in everything I do, think, and speak. Peace and calm are established in me now through the knowledge that as I exist in your universal body, so too you exist within my physical body. In peace within myself, I rest in confidence that as you control the universe, your power controls my life, now and eternally. For your presence is vibrating success through me. For this, I give thanks. I let it be so, and so it is. Good morning again. Let out a nice deep sigh. Life is good, isn't it? Most of the times, or not. When I started writing about when you return to yourself, you return to innocence, several experiences came into my mind. And so I went back into that space. And as I was journaling and writing, I actually wrote an article based on this story because the first question we ask is, what is innocence? When we hear the word innocence, we're thinking mostly a child, babies, maybe someone who hasn't really experienced a lot in life, might even use the word naive, but we use that as innocent because it's like they don't know much. They haven't been exposed to much. And so we take that context of, innocent is being not exposed to much. But when we look at children playing and you realize they have no worries, they have no concerns, they have no responsibility. They run around and, they get hurt, they're in the mud, we're the one freaking out, they don't care. So we were all there once. We all had a moment of just joyous play with no worries. And I believe that person is still in there, right? But we stop playing with that person. We stop allowing that person to come out and play. And most of the time, it's because we believe that we have to be grown ups. And grown ups don't laugh and don't play and don't jump. And that's not true. I think we can have fun all the time, shouldn't we? Um, so I thought about, okay, so what is innocence? And what came up was, they always say, innocent until proven guilty. So obviously everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But in certain religions, they claim that as soon as we are born, we're born sinners. And I thought about that. So we're looking at a baby and we're saying, well, look how cute and innocent, no experience, and yet we're calling them sinners. Now, again, it's the context of the word sinning. And what does that mean? So, as I delve deeper into this, the word sin, either it's not translated correctly or it's not described properly. But the one thing we are coming or bringing with us into this earth is our karma or past karma. Now, people think karma is a bad thing. Karma is not a bad thing. Karma is just our experiences, and it's part of our learning journey. So what we did not accomplish in our past life, whatever we did not do, whether it's good or bad, whatever was not done, we're getting a chance to come back and do it right this time. Each time we come, we go back into that space of making it better. That's why we say every day we should be better than the day before. Every day we should be working towards the betterment of ourselves. And the soul only gets to learn this lesson here in our bodies with us as its avatars. And once it gets here, and this is the interesting thing, once the soul comes here to fulfill its journey, because that's really what's happening. What's really happening is the soul is fulfilling its journey, its mission, and we are part of that journey. At some point, as kids, we are separated from the knowledge, from our karma, what they call the Akashic records. The Akashic records, it's like a computer clouds for memory, and all memory, all actions, all words are stored there forever. It's there, right? So now we know the soul has to go through this journey. It has to create the circumstances for it to learn the lesson. And the way it does that is it checks out the environment it's coming into. So in my case, they looked at my mom, they looked at my dad, they looked at the background, the experiences. They know I'm going to go through certain experiences, and they go, well, this is the experience we need. We're putting you right here. So they choose the direction. So I always say, I chose my parents. Just like I said to my kids when they complained to me, I said, well, you chose me. Why did you choose me? So we choose our parents. And when I mean our soul, choose the circumstance that we're coming here to experience. It's not good. It's not bad. It's nothing. It has to go through this experience. And if we understand that this is just part of the journey, we could make it better by being aware and understanding that. And how can we navigate it so that while the soul is learning its lesson, we're still living a great life on this earth without the suffering. Our suffering comes from our worries, our concerns, our needs, our wants, our likes, our dislikes, everything we judge, everything we have an opinion about that makes us judge it creates that resistance within us, right? So the soul, the karma, and now we're going to move into the challenge. And the challenge is the ego. And the ego is really us, the physical body. So the ego, and the article I wrote, I compared it to a computer, right? So you have a computer and you have the hard drive. So the computer right here sitting in front of me, that's my hard drive. And it comes with some coding, but we have to put software into it for it to actually work the way we want it, right? So we're always downloading an app here and downloading an app. Each app is a different software, is a different belief, is a different habit, is a different routine. And that's what we're doing. We've been downloading all of these apps into our hardware. Now, the ego was built to um, take care of any problems, any viruses, any glitches. So its job is to protect the hardware. So I'm sure you've experienced when you're downloading a new software from the website, you will get a warning sign, download at your own risk. Are you sure you want to download? We don't know if it's safe. So the hardware starts to protect you from the software we're downloading. So the same thing happens with the ego and the soul. When we first come in here, we do have connections with our soul. That's when we're still young and innocent and we're not programmed yet. And we're still communicating with our higher self, with our spirit guides. And at some point, we're starting to get awareness. And as we become more aware, we're now being guided by the rules of the earth: mom, dad, school, society, environment, community. So they are now putting in their software into our hardware. And the soul is trying to say, no, 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 no. I came here to do this, but you guys are distracting from what I came to do. And eventually you disconnect from your soul's mission. And now you're on this earthly trajectory. And the ego and humanity, we are still in a world of materialism, possession, having, mine, belongs to me. And that's really where the biggest challenges are for us, because possession means you could lose something, and losing something is very traumatic. Changing is very traumatic. The ego don't like change. The ego wants things to stay the same way always. Please don't change me. I like the way I am, even if it's not good. And that saying about if it's not broken, don't change it, not really accurate, because if we don't change, we don't upgrade the system, we're going to stay in the same place, right? So the question may show up and say, well, if we were meant to be happy and joyous and prosperous and abundant, why didn't we already come all built in? And the answer is very simple. We, the universe, it's a creative force, which means it needs to constantly be expanding, evolving, and becoming more. If we didn't have that creative energy, we would probably still be in a cave trying to figure out how to light a fire. So, if you look at the human history, the evolution of humanity, you could see how we have been moving into this space of becoming more comfortable, more ease. And you may say, yeah, I don't see it. Well, think about it. What used to be, um, what was the word I was going to use? What used to be, that only rich people can afford. I mean, back days, who traveled? You couldn't afford travel. Who had nice cars? Who had, now they're just commodities. Everybody has a house. Everybody got a refrigerator. Everybody got a car. Everybody travel. Like whatever was once like, wow, only certain people can have it. It's now commodity. And each time something new comes up, eventually it becomes part of our everyday life. And we don't even think about it anymore. It's just, that's it. So, as the evolution of humanity keeps moving on, we're also getting more knowledge. But remember, the soul is still coming here with us. And we're learning more and more as we go through this process. So, um, when we talk or think about our childhood, which is when we were closest to connecting with our higher self, then we got distracted because we're growing up and the outside environment. And now we're in this place. But our innocence, it didn't disappear, it's still there. And I believe that we should tap into it as often as possible. Be playful, be childlike. And I know we think, well, people are gonna judge me. What are they gonna say? Like we're so concerned with the outside world that we forget to have fun in the present moment. Um, my friends will probably tell you that I have this childlike personality. I'm very playful. I love to dance. I love to sing. I love to be funny. And the best thing is my kids would, I'd be doing my stuff and they would just be like, my mom is so easily amused. And they're right, because I could laugh for the most nonsense stuff. And because I am easily amused, I am still in awe of the most simple things in life. As a child, I remember sitting hours just watching the ants walking behind each other, carrying dead bugs, leaves, and going into the little hole. And I just sit here wondering, how? How did they figure that out? How are they following each other? How do they know where to go? And of course, as a kid, I'll pass my finger right through the line because I'm thinking if it's by scent and I disrupt this line, it's going to send them frenzy, right? And for a second, you see them go like, "Hey, what just happened?" And then they're right back online, and like nothing stops them. And I could sit there in awe for hours. I can still sit now and just watch a butterfly and literally be looking at the colors and how, the wings are flapping. And it's so great to go back to that space of pure innocence. And I think we all have it. And I think we get caught up. And this is why they say, you got to slow down and, smell the roses. And that's because we need that innocence back. I truly believe that innocence, everyone, doesn't matter, that's a horrible person and he's a murderer. We all came here with that innocence and it's still there. And if we could bring this back out, how great would it be? How much fun could we possibly have? Right? So I would like you to do a couple of practical exercises, nothing difficult, just easy. But sit back for a moment and go back to a moment when you were younger, maybe in a playground, maybe with friends, maybe at the beach or pool with your family, picnic. Like go back to a moment that you remember that was fun. You were either playing, maybe with, just there's so many moments. I'm sure this is what I've experienced of clients I've worked with. And they go on about my mom did this, my dad did that, and this happened and that and they're always talking about how bad the childhood was, how wrong this person did them, and how wrong. And this one particular lady was going on and on about her dad and her dad and her dad. And finally, I said, "Did you never do anything good with your dad? Did he never do nothing nice with you? Like he never, you have no experience, no memory of having something uh, with, with your dad?" And she thought about it. And I said, "Give me one, just one good memory." And she thought about it and she came up with one good memory. And then she came up with a second and a third. And all of a sudden, she started to remember the good parts, right? I saw that even in my own family, just, I'm here with my hair. Ugh. Um, all families have their issues. And, my brothers had their issues with my dad. And I started talking about remember this and remember that. And my sister in law was like, "You guys had good times?" And I'm like, "We had many good times. Remember we did this, remember we did that, remember we did this, remember we did that." And all of a sudden, I could see them all going, "Yeah, you're right. We did have a good time. We did. You're right. He was there. He did." And all of a sudden, I could see the healing happening because they were so caught up in the negative space, they forgot there was also good times. And when I tell people, I said, I have lived an amazing life, doesn't mean I haven't had issues. I've had many issues, I've had many traumas, but I chose to live in the good part of those memories. I chose to take the good memories with me and live in that space and understand that even the negative, they're just lessons. They're just stuff that our soul has to go through because that's what helps us grow. That's what helps us evolve. We're not here to be stagnant. We're not just standing water. We're a river. We're constantly moving. But we have to move downstream the easy way, not try swimming up, going against. It's too difficult. It's too much work. Why would we even do that? So, my next task, my next exercise for you is pick up the phone and call a friend from the past. My girlfriend that I met in first grade, and we're still best friends up to this day. I could call her and we will go back to those days and laugh. And we would reminisce of the good stuff. Again, we try not to bring up even the bad stuff. We can laugh about them. You know, you can laugh about bad stuff after the fact. Well, we laughed about everything. And like, oh my goodness, we were like so funny. I can't believe we were so stupid. So call a childhood friend, someone who knows you from the past, or even your siblings, you know, call your brother, your sister, someone you've had stories with from when you were young, and just reminisce and remember that you used to just be happy and playful and free and just having a great time. And, you know, and the third one is I would say, you know, journal on this, write about it. Actually, I created a workbook to help you recapture your childhood innocence. And it should be in the link I added on because I really want you to have it. And it's a 7 step self assessment uh, workbook. And you can download it on my website. And it should be, the link should be there, I hope. If not, just go to my website under karinagfelix.com/, I want to say course or resource. I don't know. I did it last minute, so I wanted you to have it today. But it is. I think it would be great because it goes with this topic of finding, recapturing your childhood innocence because it's still there, and to remind yourself we're all good. Deep down inside, we're all good, and it doesn't matter what you've done in this earth. It doesn't matter. Everything is for a reason. Everything is for us to learn and grow and expand and be more. That's what we're here to do and to experience. So I did come with a one book I wanted to share, which is The Four Agreements. And if you haven't read The Four Agreements, I am really urging you to look into this book because when I read this book, I thought if we can just incorporate these four agreements, four, just four. If we can incorporate these four agreements, and they sound simple, I know they're not simple because, again, change is not easy. But if you could read this book, as soon as you finish reading it once, you got to reread it again because it takes a while for it to just sink in. But one of the things he said was And let me see if I can pull that up here. As children, we didn't have the opportunity to choose our beliefs, but we agreed with the information that was passed to us from the dream of the planet via other humans. I'm giving you a chance to read it for yourself. Are you understanding what this says and what this means? Right? We come here innocent, no software, just the hardware. Blissed out, happy, just feed me, just change me, just play with me, just kiss me, just love me. And as we grow up, we have to fit in with that situation we were put into. And yet, once we hit that 45, 50, some people younger, but there's a moment where we start feeling the disconnect. And the disconnect that feels there's got to be more. I've worked so hard. I've made the money. I've raised the family. I've done it. And yet, what is that missing link? And that missing link is you going back to your childhood innocence, reconnecting with your soul. When your ego, or your hardware, and your soul, your software, finally sync up, that's what we call aligning with your soul's purpose. That's when you get it. That's when you see your purpose. That's when you feel fulfilled. That's when all the blocks gone. This is where we want to go. This is where we want to be. Okay. So I want to make one announcement before I go. So after my live broadcast, which is right now, I invite you to join me on a Zoom call right after at 12 o'clock where we can talk even more about it. We're going to go deeper into this, and I'll be offering the workbook and go through the process as well. If you're interested, please come on. If you're not here live, then check out the notes in the description and get your workbook and work through it. Please join the AFFIDIAN Society. It is my personal membership group where, again, we come together to discuss issues, ideas, mastermind, feedback, and to help us answer these questions, not just from me, but from the whole group. We're all here on a mission to serve and support each other. I'd love for you to join. I'd love you to be part of it. Um, Again, the link should be there. And I look forward to seeing you after. But before that, I got one more announcement to make, and that is I've also invited some of what I call my guest artists that will be. I'll be doing a every last Sunday of the month. I will have a Transform Masterclass series, which will be held by one of my guest artists, and these are the people I have lined up for the next coming months. I will give you more information once we're that far. And our first masterclass is the last Sunday of October. And by next week, I'll have more information about that. Or you could find it on my website, my Facebook, my it's going to be in all of my stuff. But I would love for you to join and join this journey of transforming Earth together because we can only do it together. We're here as creators and co-creators and collaborators, and it's we cannot do it alone. We weren't meant to do it alone. We're here as a collective force. We're here as a collective intelligence. We're here to individually do our work, but yet affect what's happening around us. And if you heard last week's broadcast, I talked about the love and energy starting from inside and radiating out. And this is how we affect the earth and the universe and our evolution. So I am going to, this was kind of interesting and fun. And yes, so I have a couple of exercises for you. I'd love for you to look into them. Go to my website, connect with me in whichever way. Please like and subscribe so that you get more information of what's coming up in the other weeks. I will be adding on some other events within. And oh, if you are in anywhere in South Florida, we actually have a live meetup right in West Palm Beach. If you are in the area, if you're seeing this, if you're being called to serve and expand on this journey, please touch base with me. And I look forward to meeting you guys. I am going to close this off with first an affirmation that I want to share with you. And again, it's all about getting into our innocence. And I will put this where you can maybe download it somewhere, stick it up in your bathroom mirror, in your kitchen, and put it in your wallet. An affirmation is actually affirming whatever you say that it's already done. So we're going to affirm this. I want you to really take in the words, take in the feeling of what it means to you. Let it really go into your system and make it part of your this week's journey for you. And the affirmation goes, I am pure, joyful, and free. I embrace my inner child and welcome the innocence that lives within me. I release judgment, fear, and doubt, allowing my soul to lead me with love, wisdom, and truth. I return to myself, and in doing so, I return to innocence. And so it is. Isn't it beautiful? Oh my goodness. That is so beautiful to just return to yourself and remember that space of innocence and pure love and joy. It makes me happy just even saying it. And I'm hoping you're feeling it just the way as I'm feeling it. And again, I want to thank you for being here. I will read another prayer from my prayer book. If you haven't gotten your copy yet of the prayer treatment, there's different treatments for different things: prosperity and abundance, um, new beginnings. There's one for finding an ideal partner. So, again, prayer treatments are not begging and asking, and it's affirming that what you want is already yours and it's already coming to you because you've earned it, because you deserve it. It's part of your journey, it's part of our journey. So I am going to choose one. How about we do one on positive self image? And I'm going to put some music in the background. Well, probably I don't even have music set up. Nope, I don't. So I'm going to just do this one prayer that I did save as a closing. Take a deep breath. Relax. Thank you for spending this morning with me. I look forward to seeing you on the Zoom call. And I will close with this little prayer. Dear Creator, we come together today to seek your guidance and to open our hearts and minds. As we explore the beauty of innocence and the journey of returning to our purest selves, we ask for your wisdom to flow through us. May we find clarity, peace, and understanding in our discussion. And may we remember the joy and love that live within each of us. Help us reconnect with the innocence of our spirit and the truth of our being. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.